Um, so I'm going to start off by saying, if you are feeling tired or sleepy, what helps me is, because I attend all the workshops, right? Just stand up, like stand by the wall or something, so that you can make the most of this. Anybody feeling sleepy? Actually, most of you are awake, except for Anish. You're actually going to doze off while I'm looking at you. Okay, alright. Okay, Vinay, what I'm going to do in the remaining time is bring it all together and think like this. We talked a lot about what did Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji say through the Gurbani. The main message was what? Both the uncles have been talking all the whole class. What are they trying to tell you? That what do you need to have in life? Did anybody tell me that? Happiness and sadness, okay.
To achieve balance.
Achieve balance. Anybody else?
Peacefulness.
Peacefulness.
Don't let failure stop you.
Don't let failure stop you. Pawan? You surprised I know your name? Okay, good. Anything you got out of all the talking?
Someone sitting there.
Sorry? A what? A good balance.
Yes.
Ready? Can you tell me your name? I'm sorry, what?
Serena.
Okay, Serena, anything you got out of all of that? Same? Can you say what the same is? Being in the middle, the fulcrum is, so Siddhi is focused on fulcrum, making sure there's balance. Why bother? Why can't I just be mad all the time? What's the big deal? And why can't I just be happy all the time? Can there be a thing called being happy all the time? Why not? How would you know the difference? If there's no sadness, how would you know that you're happy? Does that make sense? Because for you, the happiness will become the new norm and you go, okay, this is the only thing. I don't know what is happiness and sadness because that's all I know. But here's the thing. When you are operating from a place of fear, of sadness, of depression, of any of these negative feelings, what happens? What happens when you see a big lion? Seriously, you can't answer that question. What do you see when you see a big lion?
You're scared.
You're scared, and what do? You run for your life because that is the bias we have. You see something dangerous, run away from it. That is how we have been conditioned since the caveman days, right? And that saves your life. Now, whenever, although so many thousands of years have passed, the human mind has not evolved. It still looks at every negative thing as, oh my God. And you stop, how do you feel? I stop breathing. Can you share how do you feel when you're afraid? Your body. Where do you feel the fear? Alicia, where do you feel the fear in your body? Stomach? My mom and I do too. Run to the bathroom. What else? Where do you feel it? Anybody? What happens to your body?
Because some of those who have not spoken, we should participate. Say something. Even if it's wrong, it's okay.
Huh?
Your blood starts to run.
Blood starts to rush somewhere, right? Okay?
Then you start to sweat.
You start what?
Sweat.
Yes.
Sweat. Sweaty. Over here. Serena, Pawan, Emily, what's your name? B? Okay. Any three, the three of you, anything, quickly. You're scared. What does your body react? How does it react? Start shaking. Okay, good one. Yeah. So Vinay, this is how you know that something's happening and I'm in a state of fear. And just one thing, if you can actually open up those cute notebooks that you have, it'll be helpful. And you have the writing tools, start using them. That was the purpose behind it. Alright, have you heard of Vinay, something called the reptilian brain? So we have this brain here. Any emotion, anything that you are faced with, we don't start processing up here. This is the neocortex where all the cognitive thinking happens. But back here is what we call, to simplify it, the reptilian brain. So we start by feeling here first. We always start with feelings. We don't start with cognitive processes, we start with feeling. And if it is something scary, you get stuck here. Have you heard of fight, flight, freeze mode?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. You need to make sure that you don't take any important decisions of life when you are working off of the reptilian brain, because you're gonna make some mistakes. Because why? The information has not transferred to your neocortex, where all the cognitive decision making, all the cognitive processes, including decision making, happens.
Or right thinking,
Make sense?
or balanced thinking.
Yeah, all of that too. Okay? So, how do we make sure that we are able to take Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji's message, beautiful message, and bring it to our life, day-to-day life, through something called emotional intelligence? Has anybody heard of that? Okay, somebody has. You know what's IQ? What's IQ?
Intelligence quotient.
Your intelligence quotient, right? What is EQ? Emotional quotient. So we are going to talk about the emotional quotient or emotional intelligence. It is really being aware of your feelings and emotions and knowing how to manage them, and also being aware of other people's feelings and emotions and knowing, okay, I know what people are feeling at a certain point, how do I manage that? Because we don't live in a vacuum. We live with other people here. And if it was just you, you could say, okay, I can control my emotions. But when you throw in a whole bunch of sangat with it, then guess what? They all can impact your emotional state. Make sense? Yeah?
Yes.
You could be having the best day, you go out and somebody just teases you, makes fun of your pug, or the star, or your rutta, and right away, everything changes. So to become emotionally intelligent, we have to take care of self and social. You should be taking notes at this point. Let's start with self. Alicia, can you read the very first phrase here, please?
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. Can anyone tell me what does self-awareness mean?
Become
Who said that? What's your answer? Be aware of where you're going,
what are you doing?
of what you're doing. Okay, somebody else? Okay, but if we're talking about emotions, right? So self-awareness means being aware of what? Of yourself, what? I need some details. You want to take-
Like emotions or your decision-making process or how you got to that process.
I love that. Love it. Does that make sense? So what we are saying is that being aware that, you know what? When I go in this situation, I'm likely to feel happy. If I go in this situation, I'm likely to feel sad. And how do I know it? By observing my body. You always feel it in your body first. As soon as I stop breathing, I'm like, oh, somebody said something which, I don't know what happened in this brain because it's so much going on up there. All the neurons, right? They're filing away. Something's going on which is making me feel nervous or fearful. You want to take care of it right away because the next words that come out of your mouth may impact your life. So we want to make sure that we are self-aware, just like, have a pulse check from time to time. So get to know you. Meditation helps, Simran helps for this process. Okay, so I know how I'm feeling. What is the next step? Just being aware, is that enough? No. Can somebody read this? Louder. Can I just say thank you so much, Betty? I know you're coming from history class, back to back history, and Gurmat is never a good idea. You need some physical activity. So the fact that you're still awake, most of you, and Ansh, thank you for staying awake, is great. That's achievement right there. All right. So self-management. Can somebody read? What does it say? Can you read it back there? It's really tiny.
I'm scared to read it. So.
Good morning to you. Get up. Hanji beta, get up.
Self-control.
Self-control. Transparency next. Adaptability. Yes, and final? Initiative. All of this is under self-management. Once I'm aware that this is how I react in certain situations, I can be prepared. I know that when I go to Camp Gurmat, I'm likely to not get sleep because of different location, mattresses, etc. So how do I prepare for it? How am I going to manage that? It has happened already. Just keeping an eye on yourself and saying, here you go again. You're in that flight mode. You're feeling way too extremely happy. Bring it down a notch because you know you're gonna say something just because you're excited and may regret it later. So that self-monitoring, constant monitoring is awareness, and then managing that, self-management. Did everybody write that down so far? Self-awareness and then self-management. Alright, really quick, social awareness. Because we don't live by ourselves, we need to also have a temperature check of others. How do you think she's doing right now? Just look at her.
She laughs, so I hope she's happy.
Okay? Alicia, can you take a look around the room and tell me what's the general mood? If I hear that one more time, that's all I'm hearing. Tired.
Exhausted.
Okay, thank you. Another positive word. What else we got? Tired, exhausted. But that's fine. So you are smart enough to know that this is the mood of the class. And how do I uplift them? You got to figure it out. Okay, what do I want to do to make sure that I assess people around me? Because I'm with Sangat all the time. Whether it's Gurdwara Sangat, school Sangat, friends Sangat, family Sangat, right? And to do that, you use, what's the first word? I'm sorry for the light one. Empathy. What's empathy? Yeah. No? What's empathy?
Do you know where somebody else's feelings?
Yes. What's your name?
Harshan.
Harshan. That's a beautiful name. I've never heard that before. So Harshan said something. Do you know what he just said? Being aware of other people's feelings. Thank you. Next
Who
one.
said that?
Harshan.
Oh, very good.
Okay, don't worry so much about the others at this point, but it's awareness of others' feelings. That requires empathy. Who can read the last one? And then we have to do an activity. So relationship management. What does that mean? Now that you're socially aware, what do I do about it? I know how others are feeling. Hanji.
Friends.
Make friends. How? That's a great goal. How do we do it?
Talk to people.
Talk to people, okay. So if I see somebody through empathy, I know somebody's feeling sad, you would go talk to them, say, hey, are you okay? Person they say I'm missing home or I miss my bed or whatever. You start talking to them. Now this is the management part. But awareness has to be there for self as well as sangat or social before you can start managing self and relationship. What I want to do is really quick. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
1, 2.
No. You just say 1. I'm sorry. 1, 2. Remember this. So exciting. Remember your numbers. 2.
3, 4.
Okay. On the ones, you are going to tell me how can we improve self-awareness. You're going to get together and talk about that. I want all the ones to get up and go outside on the bench over there. Quickly.
Hurry up. Chalo.